Hello and welcome to a video from Pixelherb with Abyssdepth making a surprise return since his absence in November?
Yeah, probably about that, yeah.
November.
In a minute,
So I've
I'm back.
managed to reel him back in.
I'm here to stay.
I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm either riding a horse or fishing or both at the same time, who knows? That'd be a great sport, horseback fishing. That'd be great.
I don't feel like fish would go after that reel. If they
Well, maybe find
bite,
out.
that's when you start riding. And then you just fucking drag it out of the water.
Today's story is about Amazon. You work at Amazon, don't you, Bibbis?
I do actually, yes.
So you have all the inside information.
I don't know. I work in a
knows
warehouse, not in the video game development. I saw a cat fly
Why don't
by,
you work
so.
in the lumber yard?
That's
where all the action is, apparently.
I guess I technically could, but there wouldn't be lumber involved. But yeah, apparently, supposedly, what they're saying is that Amazon has been spending at least 500 million on their video game development, right?
A year.
A year.
500 million a year on their game
a-
division.
A year. Are they doing anything with it?
Actually, yes, they are. They are delaying New World endlessly. They are cancelling games such as Crucible and Breakaway.
That's a lot of fun. So how much, you know more about game development, how much money does the average game take to make? You know? You have a rough estimate?
On the
Should we
spot,
do-
why don't we?
Should
Yes.
we do
Probably a few hundred million, isn't it? It's probably
Well,
like
yeah.
100 and something million, right?
like maybe we could do some Google Foo. Average
Depends on the game
AAA
style, I imagine.
title budget.
I'm going to do it now. Okay.
A few minutes later.
On average, it will cost you between 60 million and 80 million to develop and launch a AAA game on the market.
And I
So-
imagine New World being an MMORPG is a lot more expensive, though. Probably maybe like 200 or
I
something,
mean,
maybe.
that's
I guess.
it maybe
knows?
sure, fair. But they are taking this 60 to 80 and timesing it by 8, 9. That's a lot of money. Excuse my French. And they've canceled both Crucible and Breakaway, both which Crucible entered a public phase and failed miserably. Breakaway, I think, dropped in alpha phase.
wait.
I don't think
Crucible launched. I think Crucible actually launched, didn't it?
it did full launch. You're right, and then it went back into beta, closed beta.
Have you ever heard of a game do that before? Ever?
No, none
Never.
that I can remember off the top of my head, at least. Ever? No, absolutely not.
Even Anthem hasn't done that. It's just still there as it
Anthem
was.
is still
Like,
just-
yeah, give us some time. We'll do something.
It's still out. I mean, you can still play it if you want. It's still an option. We should play that
once.
sometime. Just for
What?
Anyway, tangents aside, Amazon
It's
is
like
apparently
Jenkins is
spending
back with all these tangents.
500 million on game development per year. I guess in 2020 they did have 2 games. This year they only have 1 game, New World. End of story.
See, the thing is, it's Lumberyard is basically CryEngine. They bought into CryEngine and they just took it, forked it off, and renamed it to Lumberyard. But it's essentially CryEngine. Which, if you don't remember, about 2 years ago, CryEngine or the team Crytek were pretty much defunct. They closed down every studio and they now have just 1 remaining.
Yeah.
Which doesn't. I mean, it's a good engine, CryEngine, but it's kind of like Frostbite. I get an impression there. It's really good at something, but
Well-
really bad if you do it wrong.
And I heard from when I was reading about Breakaway forever ago, when it was a thing, that the main problem with Lumberyard's engine is that it was developed for single player games. So the multiplayer aspect was not developed fully. So the developers were kind of like figuring it out while they were making a game.
It's going to take time, isn't it? That's the problem. Just like EA, as Frostbite now is doing really well. I think most games that are on Frostbite now, they're doing really well. But I think anyone that sort of came into it like 2 years ago when they first got a hold of it, started using it en masse, it was just problem. It took some time. So
On the other hand, it doesn't seem like they're giving up on New World. They've delayed it like 17 times. We had a bet going on whether Cyberpunk or New World would come out first. Cyberpunk came out first to their detriment. Maybe they should have came out after New World. But New World, it doesn't seem like it's getting canceled. 500 million is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. So this came from Bloomberg. So there's two sources familiar with Amazon's budget told Bloomberg that the tech giant is spending $500 million a year, nearly a year. And this isn't even including Twitch. This isn't including the brand new service they've just bought into, which is Amazon Luna, which is basically their Google Stadia competitor, which we're going to do a video on later, because I think me and Abyss could have a good talk about that.
I have thoughts. I would assume that the majority of this 500 million is going towards New World and potentially games that they haven't announced yet. But like, that's a lot of fucking money.
How many more Crucible situations can you have before they say stop, no more?
Like, and they, I know they've been recruiting. They've had a good length there where they were recruiting like some bigwigs, like Far Cry. There was someone from Far Cry they grabbed. So like, maybe a good
Clint Hocking.
Maybe a good bit of money was
the director of Far Cry 2.
Them attempting to scalp other good developers, but it doesn't seem like it's working. So I don't know. I know
as you say, it says that the people they did buy into that you were mentioning here, so Clint Hocking, the Far Cry 2 director, and the Portal designer Kim Swift, they are no longer with Amazon anymore.
No, exactly. So, like, I'm assuming they're trying to buy people into the development, but at the same time, people are like, this is not a good place to work, or something. I don't know. Maybe New World will succeed. Maybe that will change things in the future. But I feel like they're not going to hold 500 million a year if they keep on the path they've been doing.
That's the crazy part, isn't it? I mean, New World has to be very successful to get 500 million.
That's that too. Most games don't make that much money.
I'd be hard pressed to find a game that make that in 10 years, let alone a year, to make up the other year. I mean, that's a crazy amount of money. So
that's $500 million. $500 million.
It's not sustainable, is it?
Interestingly,
at the time of recording this video, just hours ago, Jeff Bezos has stepped down as CEO of Amazon.
Did he really?
So he did, yes. He's no longer CEO. He stepped down into he's a chair somewhere. He's like a chair of something. I can't remember exactly now. And someone else has stepped in. I can't remember the name of now. I had it, but it's gone. But I don't think that means immediate changes. But I mean, he might look at this, and in a year's time, and go, "What on earth are we spending $500 million on?" Because where's the return revenue?
There's zero return. As of yet, that has been pure and utter lost revenue. End of story. Right? Like, so I guess some of it was made up with Crucible and New World, because Crucible had where you could buy money, and New World, people were buying it before it was delayed. Can you buy it still?
You can still pre-order Crucible. New World, yes. So
like, they're
but
still
I imagine
making
Crucible.
Some
I don't think
money.
Crucible would have sold enough money, would it, to make
500 million?
Dent
Fuck
on the,
no.
Not on the development costs. No, not even a scratch probably. So
not even a dent. I'm assuming they've probably made like a few million off of Crucible and New World, but like pure and utter loss of money at this point.
And I am expecting New World will probably do very well, depending when it releases though. If they keep delaying it for too long and it gets to a busy time of year, if we get nearer towards, they're supposed to be launching now in spring, aren't they? So if they get nearer towards the fall region, they're going to start getting some trouble there, aren't they? I suspect. Like, now's the perfect time to release it, really.
Honestly,
because everyone's here going, there's nothing to play.
It's a dead zone.
There's new consoles out. Exactly. And there's no games even for the new consoles. It's crazy.
This is a good dead zone for them, and they've built up quite a bit of hype. This is like, everyone is staring at New World to see if Amazon fails at game development. Like, literally, the spotlight is on New World for whether Amazon will succeed or not in the game development world. And I'm assuming that this 500 million a year is also going to be heavily reliant on if New World succeeds or not. Maybe they will continue, because maybe it's an investment. Maybe they're throwing a lot of cash at it now and hoping that later on they can sustain it with lower bills, and start making some real profit. But I feel like New World is going to be a big key into if they continue this or not.
Yeah. And I mean, as I say about the delaying as well, obviously Ashes of Creation is quite a big MMO. That's got quite a lot of hype behind it now. That's getting pretty... I don't know when that's due to release. It's doing a lot of alphas now, and they're showing a lot of footage of the game, and it's looking
It looks fun.
Pretty good. So It looks really good. It could be... I think it could actually... Probably to me, I think it looks actually slightly more attractive in terms of feature set and style.
And it's gorgeous. Like, the game looks fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. It compared to New World, it looks amazing. Like it looks spades past New World. And I get that Amazon is new to making games, but they've still been at it for at least half a decade now. I don't know. Like, if they've been spending $500 million a year for the past half a decade, that's $2.5 billion with nothing to show. I don't know. It's mind-boggling to me.
It's lucky Twitch makes a lot of money.
Yeah,
but
and
Amazon does as a whole in general. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm sure they aren't probably feeling this too much, but still, even as any kind of business manager, you look at it. Even if it was £100 a year, if you're getting no return on that, you're still going to go, why?
Exactly.
So there's going to be some questions somewhere. Let's hope they can turn this bad spell of games around and improve things. Let's hope New World releases for Ashes of Creation, because if that comes out first, I don't feel like it's going to get anywhere. Because people won't start an MMO and then kind of go, do you know what, it's time for a new one 3 months later. You're going to stick with that one for a while, aren't you?
There's definitely going to be a lot of spotlight on New World. I'm going to play it when it comes out for sure. But we'll see. I mean,
yeah,
it's a lot of money. I think if it wasn't Amazon, the company would have already shut down. Like, there's no fucking way. But Amazon has, a lot of money. So at this point, this is throwaway cash, hopefully investing into something that they think is going to make them profit. Yeah, we'll see.
Absolutely. And there you go. That's the story and our take on it. And Abyss's first return back to the channel since November, and the first one this year. Hopefully not only one of many.
Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is definitely a very big, interesting aspect of the gaming community and the gaming development. So,
let us know. Like if you like the video, subscribe to see more, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.